Hi everyone, welcome back. We are Advanced Elements and it's me, Christian, with David and Nathan again. Today we've got a little video about the local meta. What's happening in Sydney specifically. We thought it would be nice to just let you guys know what's been going on over here. Got some unexpected things and expected things, so yeah. And to start off with, let's just get your first impressions of the meta so far. So I guess Nathan, will let you go first.
I'll try not to talk too long, but I'm still cautiously optimistic about the meta. I think fire looks really, really strong. I think water's in a really rough spot. I think wind has a couple viable decks, but I mean the short of it is like it feels like Ryle is absurdly strong, and like Water Diana is playable when your gun doesn't get broken. And even when it does, you still have some lines, so it's not a bad deck, but it does feel like sometimes you can fall into holes with it. But yeah, it's fun, definitely fun to experiment with new decks, definitely fun to try a lot of stuff. I love to play a lot of bad decks at the beginning of the season, and I've been doing that. I've been doing this thing that I always do where my opponent maybe doesn't always have as much fun as I do, but it's a good time.
Yes, we will get into that a bit later. I have been on the receiving end of this pain, but I'm glad to hear that you're somewhat enjoying it. David, how about you? How's the meta going?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good start. I've been enjoying it. I'm enjoying being able to play fire again. Picked up the water Diana this past week, I guess. So I hate scavenging raccoon, so let's just start go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, Scavenging Raccoon making a comeback. Yes, this in this graveyard reliant meta. Honestly, for me, I think I'm having a good time. This is probably the most fun I've had in a while with this game. How should I say this? I feel like there's just a lot of decks that I can play right now that I can enjoy. I haven't tested out heaps of decks, but I've got a lot of decks that I want to try. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Now that we've passed that meta, can I ask you, were you against Wind Series just because it uses arcane that it's not right?
I mean, I just
Was that out of principle? Was that out of principle? Just being like, no, there should not be another Rye. You cannot use arcane blast. Get out of here.
Man,
I'm dark about.
I don't know, man. It feels like every meta there's gonna be some deck that takes one of Rise cards and be like, "Ooh, I could use this better." And so I don't know, but I was never against Winserio. In fact, that was probably a deck that I was kind of keen on because it played arcane cards, you know. But this meta's been good so far. I'm looking forward to what it has to offer. I know Nathan's a bit more worried. You know, he's
I think I agree with you. I like this meta. Maybe it is like the fire bias in me, but I also
I do
agree in
want
saying
that.
like I feel like it opens up a lot of decks that I can play level 3 decks. It just feels like I can go back to playing level 3 decks, whether good or bad or whatever, but you can play level 3 now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think in concept, there's a lot of viable level 3 decks now, like Ryle Luxem, Ryle Onsil, Ryle Merlin, Ryle Rye, are all completely fine, and arguably you could play any level 3 champion and put Ryle in the deck, and it's like, well, you get to level 3 with, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand, and as long as your advanced element does something, you can win the game. And I mean, there's some advanced elements that don't do anything, but like, the ones that do something will play and
what do you
are
mean?
viable.
Ryle Kongming? You don't like Ryle Kongming?
Ral Dao Chan, level 3.
Again, it's probably the best Kongming deck we've ever seen.
Yeah.
It just still doesn't fight Ryle Onsol, Ryle Merlin, all these other decks. But like to me, the whole like, oh, every champion is viable if you put in Ryle, it's like they don't feel like distinct decks the way that Lost's format, like Tristan felt like a distinct deck from Wind Luxem, which felt like a distinct deck to Wind Ari. And to me, all these decks should feel like the same thing of I play Ral the Abyss turn 1, and then I like banish a floating and then bring back my Linnell guide, and it's like the exact same thing, and the decks have like almost the exact same counters, and like, yeah, there is intricacy, but like it gets stale to me really. I mean, it's gotten stale to me really fast. We're 2 weeks in and it's already stale to me. And I mean, I have concerns about how strong it is and how much you can tech for it. And it's weird because I didn't feel this like level of trepidation for Norm Sylvie. I didn't feel it for Scam, and I didn't feel it for Fractals.
Did you feel it for Vanitas, Razor Gale?
Yes. But also like Razor Gale was a deck that like yeah, I don't know. You play the deck, it just felt absurdly broken, and we didn't. It wasn't like oppressive in the meta because no one in Sydney played it, and it was like it just popped up for like one season. But this one is just like everyone knows it. I think the problem is like all of the counterplay feels really bad. Like at least with fractals, if you play Scatter Essence, like you're in a pretty good spot. Like you go +0, they go -1.
Yeah.
For me, all of the lines where you beat Ryle is like they play Ryle in my end phase, and I like Expedition Opening, Scavenging Raccoon, and like eat a Liminal Guide into Floating, and it's like they spent 3 mana to draw a card, and like they cycled a little bit as well, which is advantage. And I spent what 5 mana to play a 1/1 that's hindered because it can't attack this turn, and I went -1. Like, oh, it doesn't feel good for me. And normally those types of trades are fine if your deck is getting value or progressing its game plan, and their deck is not able to progress their game plan because they're being set back. But when you have to hold up 6 cards to do this, it's really, really hard for your deck to also be doing something else. So yeah, playing like this counter decks, and I've been playing a lot of hate decks, and I've been trying to make sure that these guys don't have fun, but they're still having fun. And it's
I'm not even playing a Ryle deck.
Well, the thing is, like I'm playing so much hate, right? I'm playing Raccoon, I'm playing Ludus, I'm playing Expedition Opening, I'm playing Sansa, like, and I'm trying to flash in Ludus, I'm trying to flash in, Raccoon, and I'm playing Cleansing Reunion, and I'm making Water Diana plays absolutely miserable because when you put this much hate in your deck, you should annihilate the deck. Right? But I'm playing against Ryle, and Ryle doesn't care. They just go, oh, okay, cool, you banished all my floating. Like, I'm playing against, Ryle Merlin. I banish all of their floating. They never get a single Creative Shock off. They never get a single Ryle off. And they're still just like, cool, I'll level up. I'll Dungeon Guide to 2. I'll Dungeon Guide to 3. And I'll play the game. And it's just like, well, okay. And now they're drawing a card every turn. And I haven't progressed my game plan because I'm hitting them with a Raccoon every turn. It just doesn't kill them. Hitting them with a Raccoon every turn doesn't kill them. Okay?
The hate has come to hate you back.
I just still I can't keep up with them just playing the game because they're still going neutral and I'm still going negative. I think Ryle is I don't think it's like impossible to beat, but like it's kind of oppressively strong, and maybe it's just because like the element that I want to play doesn't have the answers, and last format, if I was a fire player, maybe I would have felt the same thing for Fractals, and if I was a fire player, maybe I would have felt the same thing for Genbo. But just here, it's like, I don't want to play Ryle Mirrors, where if I draw Ryle and my opponent doesn't, I win, or if they draw Ryle and I don't, they win. And I don't feel like I have good other options. I can build decks that can beat it, but it's just like, yeah, the hate package feels like it restricts me to a very narrow selection of decks that still have a chance against these very, very fast deck lists that just unlock advanced elements really, really quickly.
It is interesting that you mentioned like whoever draws Ryle kind of gets there first and wins, and right. And another card that I thought about when you said that was Dungeon Guide. And like I don't think of Dungeon Guide in the same when I think of Dungeon Guide, I don't regard her with that same type of emotion that I do, where it's like, oh my god, games are decided with Dungeon Guide. But I understand your feelings with Ryle, and like thinking like, well, if I Ryle and I whiff kind of, and they Ryle and they get liminal floating, like, doesn't the game just kind of snowball to a point where it's just like kind of unbeatable? And I guess the difference here between Dungeon Guide and Ryle is that, in my opinion, it's just that it's like both of them are together now. Like Dungeon Guide and Ryle are in the same deck, so there's more chances of high rolling, or more chances of like coin flippy situations where if they draw something, then they win. Alternatively, you could probably say, well, if they high roll with Ryle and they never see Dungeon Guide, and I see Dungeon Guide, maybe it balances out. But I don't agree with that way of thinking. I still think the guy with the Ryle will come out on top.
I also think like a lot of these decks have switched to Serene Spirit to make it more consistent to find Ryle, and it also has the side effect of making it really hard to aggro them down. And like Fire aggro can kind of get there, but if you're playing on like a mid-rangey wind list, like it's just so hard to get the damage that you need to kill these champions. Like Lorraine and Merlin are sitting at what 34 health. That's so hard to get to.
I don't think Lorraine and Merlin will be playing Serene though. Like I don't see it. One thing I'll say about level 3 fire decks is that like on your opponent's side of things, like you barely can interact with your opponent That's the one thing I will say. If you're holding a shadow, like let's say you're playing Tristan and you're holding a shadow strike, like fire will not have a way to stop that shadow strike. Like if you're playing against Onsol, like a Veiling Breeze is a strong card again because they don't have a space for null mirrors. Like you can Veiling Breeze for 3 and literally block the whole turn for them.
I agreed with you until Sunday when I was versing Nick and who was playing Fire level 3 Diana, the gun Diana, not the bow, not the ether charge one. And suddenly the Umbra package has counter spells, and I'm like, holy crap, this is a fire deck with counter spells and the best draw engine in the game. This is very strong. So there are certain advanced elements that kind of get crazy, and let's not forget anyone can run in cap as well.
Yeah, Fire Locksmith is definitely one you can.
Of course you can run it, of course. Like, and you're saying like with the hand advantage you can do it, but I feel like you don't have the space for it. Like the Fire Turbo engine, that literally takes up like most of your deck slots, I think.
16 cards? Creative Shot,
Well, you
20
got 16,
cards?
Then,
I think it's like
yeah,
20
you got
cards.
16, you got your Quarry Shafters, you got 20, you got your Cremation, you got your Hasties, that takes you to 28, you got your Dungeon Guides that takes you to 32, and then you got to take into account your 12 or so floating memory as well for your turbo, like pitching and all those stuff. That's 44 cards.
Do you need that much
I thought
floating?
that
So
Isn't that the
the
rail
12
package?
floating was part of the rail package.
normally floating wise, you probably run 16 if you're Fire Turbo,
Whoa, that's a lot.
minus the Liminal. I'm not counting
think-
Liminal as a part of it.
So
So
20 including Liminal.
That's a lot. That's like
I
mill
thought I
deck
was
numbers.
comfortable with like
I don't think that's a
14 to
lot.
16 discard targets.
like
That's
it
how
could
much
be
I'm
that,
running in
like,
my
I could be
Diana
over-
deck. That's crazy.
I could be overvaluing it and stuff like that, sure. And maybe that is the case, but I always find that you'll have about, I'll say 16 to 20 cards. 16 to 20 cards, and if you're playing an advanced element package, let's just say Merlin, for example, then. So, like, let's just say 40 cards. So we take 4 cards out. 4 of those cards is a fireball. So that's 44. You're going to have 4 Ghosts of Pendragons, which takes you to 48. Sight, which is 52. Then you'll have, like, 8 card slots.
Sure. I mean, this is
And
regarding.
I don't think in cap.
Yeah. This is
I'm
regarding
just saying, like,
Merlin
in general,
or
yeah.
Crux Knight, right? Because you're making the point that fire can't protect itself, right? And I agree with you if your fire deck is level 1, right? But if your fire deck is level 3, then there are plenty of advanced elements that can protect themselves and can like have counterplay. So it's
Of course, like you play against Assassin, you worry about in-cap. Yeah, I agree, in in-cap. But they also eat up into your Spectre. Unless you're playing a low-count Spectre, which is a little bit more high-rolly, I would say.
I think I kind of just disagree on principle. I think like Merlin and Loxham have always found ways to put in cards like Resolute Stand and Blanche, and I don't think that changes with the Rail package. I don't think the Rail package is that many deck slots. And I think like again, if you're playing Serene Spirit, and I think you should be playing Serene Spirit in a lot of these decks, then you just don't need to have that much floating to still have good consistency.
Yeah, I feel like this is not like a complaint or anything about the deck. I'm just trying to observe what I see. So this is not about fire in general. This is just about advanced elements being level 3 very quickly, and like how some decks can just kind of like rocket more than others because their advanced element stuff is better. Basically, the meta is that fire very strong, Ryle very good, Nathan no happy, Christian somewhat happy, David very happy, and but like we're all in having fun. We're all enjoying it. We're just we're a bit like, you know, some of us are a bit more worried than others, you know, about like prospects for certain gameplay styles and certain decks. Because I will say I don't enjoy a meta where it's like you either join them or you hate them, you know, like kind of thing. I don't like those kinds of metas where it's not exactly tier 0. It's not tier 0, but like, yeah. It's like you've got to build your deck in a particular way to keep up with other decks. But if you don't want to do that, then you got to build the complete hate version of the deck. But then if people are building a complete hate version of the deck, then other decks that aren't following the mold are just completely suffering because they're kind of getting caught in the crossfire. Diana.
Diana, Water Diana seems to be in that boat right now. Yeah.
But like, I don't like that kind of weird. Is it even rock paper scissors? I don't even know. But like, it's just this weird situation that we kind of never have had before, I think. Well, it hasn't
I
felt that
think
way.
The element balance feels really weird right now because fire is really strong. You can play fire aggro, or you can play Ryle. Wind has like hate cards, and you can play wind and you put sensor into a deck and you try and fight the fire decks. And then water is like if you play versus a Ryle deck, you can't keep up unless you're Wind Diana and you have invert floating, and you can kind of keep up because you're a water deck. You can't really put sensor in your water deck and bring it out. And then if you play against a wind deck, like they're playing sensor and a bunch of hate cards, and you have to find Fracturize or Mustang or something as an out. So like, yeah, water feels like it's in a really, really awkward spot just because you're getting caught as a bystander to the Ryle engine.
Have
Like
you guys?
GA's always been a 2-element format, right? I feel I've never felt a format where it's been all three are viable to a degree.
Really?
2 out of 3 of the basic elements was way stronger than the other one.
Maybe we're
It's
just
always been that kind of.
overreacting then, Nathan. Maybe it's just because we're on the
look-
fire meta now.
I'm happy to accept that, like, if you were a fire player in the last 2 formats, maybe you haven't had the best time. And, like, right now is a good time for fire players. Personally, I don't like the gameplay of level 3 decks, which is just, like, kind of you kill your opponent before they kill you. And, like, if fire decks, and David's right, fire decks do have less defensives, which is, like, part of my problem is if I'm playing a fire mirror, and we're just playing, if Merlin finds her fireballs before, I'm a Loxodon player and I find my Lightweavers, they win the game, and if I find my Lightweavers first, I win the game. Like, that's not a metagame I enjoy. I prefer the I'm a winner player. I want to have, like, the complex back and forth interactions, trying to figure out what my opponent has, what I need to find, what I can and can't play around at any given point in time. I'll be honest, Ryle decks feel a little bit like I'm playing Solitaire. So... Yeah, I can't say I enjoy the gameplay that much, but I'll definitely find my decks that I'll enjoy, and I'm still definitely enjoying the game, the new set, and all that stuff.
I don't mind win metas as well because I think win metas are a bit interesting. Like it's a bit back and forthy. Like it's a bit of like a chess game for your opponent. I just don't like water metas. Like water metas are miserable. Like you can't play around glimmering refusal. If you play against Fractal's last format, you cannot play around glimmering refusal, and it's just like, cool, thank you very much. Like I can't play this game, and like I would prefer sitting in the 2 other elemental formats. Like I would prefer seeing fire formats like this. I would prefer seeing wind formats than a water format. That's all I'm gonna say. So
I will add to that and just say my only saving grace for this Ryle stuff is that it allows a lot of decks to be played, so there is some sort of variety. But if it ever gets to a point where there's one deck that's just vastly stronger than the rest of them because of this package, then that's when I'm gonna put my foot down and be like, okay, this sucks. Speaking of new decks, what have you guys been playing so far? Let's go with you, Nathan, first.
Yep. I've been playing Suited Fire Allies is like the first thing that I jumped on. As I mentioned in the full card review that we did the stream. I like the Suited package. It's actually really fun. That deck is really, really fun. It doesn't quite keep pace with some of the faster decks, especially, when Fire Ryle Onsol sweeps you, that feels pretty bad. But otherwise, the deck is pretty good at, like, getting a really wide board and pressuring and just playing a bunch of guys. And there's actually a little bit of math in the deck, which I enjoy. Also been playing a couple of Ryle decks, which, yeah, just to get a feel for the engine. And once I played it, yeah, I mean,
How could you?
it's just a good engine, and you draw a lot of cards. And then I switched to Wind, and I was trying to feel out. I played a lot of bad Wind decks, just trying to feel out kind of how many compromises you have to make to fight Ryle. And the answer is all of them. You have to compromise your entire soul to fight Ryle.
You have to fight fire with wind?
It's not like back in like the Fractal meta, I tried this a lot where I was playing a bunch of Wind decks and I was trying to figure out, like, is 4 Scatter enough? Or do you need to play Purifies? Do you need to play like Reclaim? Like, is Quicksilver Safeguard enough? Like, what are the deck constraints that you need to give yourself a fighting chance versus this deck? And I'm trying to do that for Ryle. And I haven't found the line yet. I need to keep going further. We need more science.
More raccoons.
Yeah.
More raccoons, yeah.
But that's been me.
So you want me to talk about
Yeah,
it?
you
What
go
I'm
ahead.
playing?
Yeah, what have you been playing?
I mean, I've been playing pretty much the 2 decks that you guys have been playing as well, but pretty much Suited. I've tried that as well. It's fun, but unlike Nathan, I don't do math with that deck. I just play dudes and I just go, oh, I add up to 10 for some reason. That's good. So I'm definitely not the best
Somehow
pilot of that kind of deck.
finds himself to number 10 each time.
Yeah, somehow, yeah. Five of Spade is the MVP of that deck.
But by the way, oh my god, did you say 5 of spades?
Five of Spades.
Damn,
the MVP. Of that deck.
MVP. Yeah, he hits hard. He hits
Like-
hard.
Yeah, I like my heavy swings. So, I also tried the Fire Spectre package, and I'm still playing around with my numbers with that. But it does seem strong. It does seem, I could play. Maybe it's time for me to bring out Jin again. Like, is this a fire Jin format?
Ryle Jin?
Maybe. I don't. Ryle Jin. There's no water around. Ryle Jin might be the way to go. And then the other deck I tried was Water Diana. I tried like a level 2 stratagem list, and I pulled it off once, which is nice. But yeah, it was when you play against win decks, yeah, you just get caught in a crossfire. You're just like, you're not meant to be killing me, but your deck destroys mine. It doesn't 100% beat the Spectre package, but it's destroying mine.
Wait,
Cool.
did you play against
having
Nathan
fun.
too?
No, I played against AJ.
Oh, AJ, that's right. AJ was running it too. I've been to 2 locals since the new set, and I've played Water Diana for both of them. Mine's way different to David's. Mine's the more standard list where you go to level 3 and do your meteoric volley and do big damage like that. I gotta say, I haven't been doing well at all with the deck in terms of like wins. I think on the Friday was 2-1, but I wasn't playing it well. And then on the Sunday, I got absolutely demolished. We only had 3 rounds, and I was 0-2, and then the final round was a bye for me. So I was just like, well, I guess that's that.
What'd you play against, out of curiosity, on the Sunday?
You're looking at him
cool.
right there, mate.
Next game. Yeah, next game.
So the first round I was versing Nick, and Nick was playing the cool new Diana deck, which we will talk about in a moment.
You versed Nick and Nathan. Good job.
My deck was not good that day. I was playing Crawl, okay? If you lose to Crawl, that's not my fault.
You had mechanical hair, didn't you? Like 100%.
No.
You had
No,
mechanical
you
There's
didn't.
Mechanical Hair
No,
in
you
the deck.
didn't.
Mechanical Hair is too slow. Rail's fast speed. You can't attack in your end phase. Mechanical Hair does nothing.
Yeah, so you got to say, so arguably I versed the 2 sweatiest players at locals, all right? And then I would count AJ up there as well. But then Nick just knows Diana in and out. He's like the Diana guy, and he drew well. He was a fire deck. He played Ryle. He milled. He just discarded Liminal Guide and a floating on turn 1, and the rest is history. I didn't play particularly well. I think I could have taken a game off him, but aside from that, I think he might have had it because I just didn't realize how strong the Fire Diana deck list was, especially against the Water Diana. And then against Nathan had absolutely no chance, because if you haven't gathered from just what we've been talking about, like he's just been playing. Well, he hasn't just been playing it, but he played the wind hate deck for the Ryle decks. And like David said, I got caught in the crossfire, and I just got absolutely demolished.
I'll tell you, if you play a fast speed Ludist versus Diana when they attack you, and their floating bullet gets banished, and then they can't mill a floating because you have a Ludist on the board, like they just can't do
It's
much.
a feels
And then
bad,
also,
bad moment.
turns out I also happened to be playing Tamer because I was playing Crawl, and Baby Green Slime is really, really good at getting rid of guns that say Spell Shroud on them, because Spell Shroud is not a very good keyword versus some decks.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just getting trauma in my corner.
Yeah.
I'm just like, please, someone. I got Baby Green Slime so many times. I got Raccoon so many times.
I got baby green. Raccoon, infinite amount of times as well.
If you guys want some fun, it's not a very good deck. I was playing a CL win deck. It was just like a wind, you start level 1, you get a bunch of omens, and you be annoying deck. With a bunch of raccoons and ludists and all the crap to try and beat Ryle. But versus decks that, are just trying to play the game normally, if you play Ace Protector and Chrysalis, because Chrysalis can suppress allies, and they can't really have, the deck doesn't have good ways of dealing with 3/4s, it's really fun to go have Ace and just have Intercept. you intercept their attacks. Then when it is about to die, you Chrysalis suppress the Aeson. And then if they don't kill the Chrysalis, you move to end phase, and the Aeson bounces the Chrysalis back to your hand, and you can just do that every turn.
You disgust me. Gross.
He's the equivalent of like control player in like Magic, right? Just play blue and just be like, yeah, I'm having fun. Are you having fun? We're like, no.
I don't play negates. Okay, I don't play negates. I just try and turn off the value engine.
But yeah, so that was the locals experience for me so far. I've been enjoying it though. Like I say that I wasn't having a good time, and I wasn't. But then like later that day, me and Nathan played like 100 games, and I said to him, I was like, I want to play my Diana deck into your wind hate deck, just to see if there's any hope of winning. And I think maybe I took one game out of like 10 or 20.
I was happy to switch decks, by the way. I wasn't making him play against this deck. He was like, give it to me, and I was like, all right, like this wasn't. And also, to be clear, I didn't build that deck to beat Water Diana. It was an accident. I didn't mean for it to happen, and I apologize to all of the Water Diana players that I played against that day.
You just get exactly. It is kind of sad because they are getting caught in the crossfire. It's just like they used to, like the water thing where I was gonna mill my floating, and then it allowed me to play Frostborn Paladin, Lost in Thoughts. You would think like this kind of engine would have been played to counteract that kind of deck, but it's not. It's to counteract Spectres. It just happens. That's like, oh, you need your graveyard too.
I think it's right. I queued into Christian round 2 on that Sunday, right? Which means that I had a loss.
Yeah, we both lost.
And I lost to Fire Spectre Onsol, because it turns out that level 2 Lorraine can kill an Aeson Protector with Sword of Shadows. Like, how broken is that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You can't play the game versus this deck as like a low to the ground deck. It's just not. It's not possible. And then like he goes to level 3 and he plays a fluffy shopkeep, so his Crux Knight just does 4 damage with a Sword of Seeking by itself. Like the game is like really, really hard to play if your only way to kill them is by playing guys and hitting in the face. I think.
Was that against
I think
Tim?
any mid-range deck is that's Tim. Yeah. So like,
I
again, he didn't get any floating off any Luminal Guides off the entire game because I ate every single one of those things, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if this was on purpose or something, but he didn't have a Divine Relic in his deck. Oh no, he did have a Looking Glass, right?
Yeah, Looking Glass. Yeah.
Sorry, he didn't have any. Like he had a Looking Glass, and obviously the 4 champions. And 7 swords. He just had 7 swords and just go.
He's playing Prismatic Edge too, just for fun.
It's right.
Which, by the way, playing a Wind deck against Ascension when they're playing Evercurrent Raider and their deck by default is not fun. Okay?
Ooh, that's just yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Aside from like getting bodied on Sunday, like my experience has been fun. And I've been enjoying it. Looking forward. I am planning to play Diana for another week now. On Sunday, I thought I was over it, but I have come up with a new version. I've replaced like 20 cards, and I'm just gonna try it out and see how it goes in the next locals. Hopefully, I just don't pair up into Nathan.
Have more patience than I do.
Yeah, David's already given up on his Diana, but he played some. You played some like weird, freaking stratagem version, which is cool. I liked it. But you can't just be like, oh, Water Diana sucks, and I'm holding like stratagems in my hand.
It doesn't suck. Like I actually think the deck. I actually think the deck is fine when the meta doesn't try to destroy you to that degree. I just find that kind of deck. I don't enjoy that kind of deck. Playing that kind of deck, like. Whereas it's like
he doesn't like doing nothing turn 1.
That's the one thing I hate about that deck is like your turn 1 is pretty much nothing. But
what do you mean, bro? You switch to a fire deck and your turn 1 is played 1 fast speed spell in my opponent's phase. Like it's the same thing.
But then I get
You're playing a distant enabler versus a creative shock. It's the same thing.
No, but the distant enabler doesn't like it digs you 1. Like you get this gun and it's just like I don't know.
Where's the value, Nathan? Where's the value? There's only
He
where's
doesn't,
the
his
value?
hand
Where's the
doesn't go to his
comeback?
deck and add cards to his hand at the end of his opponent's turn.
also when he levels, he doesn't summon a 1/3. Okay, you know.
I do love drawing cards. I'll just tell you right now. Like I do love drawing cards. The Diner deck as well. It's like when I get to glimpse, I'm like, oh, I'm glimpsing. I'm like, oh, I don't get to draw these cards. I do put them back down. Glimpsing is just like this fake kind of draw. You're like, 3 cards. Okay, they all 3 go back.
This is a Crux player talking. So the Diana deck isn't bad. Like it's pretty decent, and like it's like a lot of decks. When things go your way, like the deck is quite strong. But when things don't go your way and the deck can't like pick up the pieces, then you're like mega screwed. And that's what happens with Diana, I think, especially when she loses the Aqua Mirage thing.
Yeah, I think if you're playing solitaire like by yourself, Diana draws fantastic. Like you glimpse so many cards, your deck is so consistent, provided that you open a distant enabler and one Aether Charge that you can play. But like once you get off that starting point, the whole deck flows together so smoothly. You get to level 3 so quickly, so easily, and you get to play everything and just do a lot of damage really fast.
But-
I was surprised, like playing against the deck, and you just did like 17 damage to me in one attack, like out of essentially nowhere, and it was like, okay, yeah, I mean, this deck can kill people if left alone.
Yeah, and like it's funny because if like okay, so it gets wrecked by the hate decks, right? But if against other Ryle decks, it's okay as well. Like it's okay against like well, we played Water Diana against Fire CL a bunch, and I would say Nathan was slightly more up in those games. But yeah, it didn't feel like unwinnable at any point. Like there's always a chance with the deck, and even side decked, like it's pretty good. So I'm very satisfied with where it's at.
One thing I'll say, yeah, with that as well, like, is that the fact that you were able to kill CL with Serene, like a Serene Spirit CL, which was 36 damage. That's a lot. Like that means that deck can hit hard.
Yeah, I almost think like that matchup, if I'm playing, specifically that deck, I wouldn't want to be Serene Spirit in that matchup just because the 6 health doesn't matter. Like that deck, when it kills you, it overkills you by quite a bit.
Yeah.
That deck, it hits you for 3, it hits you for 7, and then it hits you for 20. Like that's just how the deck feels.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It does nothing until it starts doing something a lot. And it on the turn where it kills you, it
just
like
explodes. Yeah, it's really cool. I liked it. But yeah, so that was basically our interpretations, our perspectives on the locals meta. Now I want to talk about, like, we're still going to talk about the locals. We're going to talk about specifically our locals on Sunday. That's on Sundays we have a locals at Good Games Town Hall in Sydney, and this is probably one of the more what would you say, like well known ones around.
It's like the most regular one, I would say. It's like the one that it's always on every week.
Yeah. Me and David essentially started playing GA at Good Games Town Hall. We don't talk about Top Right, but
Top Right was fun, Christian. The 2-man, just me and you. And then like every 3 hours we have to move the car.
Oh god. So anyway, good stuff happening in the Sydney in the Sydney scene. We broke a record basically with the number of attendees at locals.
It's a 17-person locals, and we normally sit around like 6 to 8 people on a regular basis. So the ambassador programs did really well. The Smash Linter plays, I think, helped a lot as well. So yeah, good to see a lot of new faces showing up.
Yeah, I'm really happy about it. 17 people. When I saw it, I was like, what? And like the crazy thing is, like, we still have people who just didn't show up as well.
Like regulars who didn't show up because they had other plans.
Yeah. So, like, nothing but blue skies for the scene right now. It's been really good. And so I went around and I talked to everyone and I got everyone's deck lists. So from the 17 people, how many do you think were fire?
I would say 10.
10?
I'll go 11.
11? Okay. Let me see. Let me just count it real quickly, guys. This is all professional production. 1, 2...
Live counting.
The numbers are in. One of you is correct. And the number of fire players in locals was 11. There were 11 fire players at locals.
You only picked 11 because I picked 10. I just wanted to be.
I was gonna say 10, and then you said 10, and I was like, all right, I'll go one higher because I think it's more likely to be higher than lower.
Yeah, it's whatever more higher.
So
And you, if you said 10, I would have said 11.
I started getting scared though because I started counting the non-fire players, and I was like, I was on wind, Christian was on water, right? So I only need to find like 3 or 4 more for it to start getting really iffy.
yeah, so like more than like just under 2/3 of the playing field was fire, which is not unexpected, I'd say. Ryle is hot, fire is hot right now, so I am not surprised. Water decks, let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4,
I think there's one win. There's only
5.
two. I think
Yes,
you were the only win, right?
yes, 5
Yeah.
water decks,
Literally the only win.
and then 5 water decks, and then 1 wind deck, which was Nathan here. Before we get on to the decks, so for champions, a lot of champions were played.
I'm doing my best.
So wait, oh, yes, yeah. So Nathan was Sylvie. That's a curveball, you know. No one expected Sylvie on week 2 of DTR meta. But I think
Not even slime Sylvie, baby.
so. We had a Sylvie player. We had a Rye player. Our good Rye Stan Nico was playing that. Very good, Nico. What else? Jono, our mate Jono, he was playing Fire Serene Spirit Ari, which he was trying to go for the infinite. What's the card called?
Astrolabe, scry the stars.
Yes.
Infinite combo, play your entire deck in a turn.
Yeah.
I saw it get fracturized in round 2.
You gotta go fracturized.
Oh, fuck me, fracturized.
He did all of that, and it's fracked. It's like, okay, cool.
That's gross.
I gotta respect him for trying. Alright, you know what? You can make Ryle Lubu work, because you can get to 3 and you can play Lubu.
Ooh,
You can do
it.
It's not easy. But if you ever wanted to do it, now's the time to do it. Okay?
I like it. So yeah, I talked to Jono and he's like, yeah, I'm never playing this deck again. This deck's absolute trash. So yeah.
He's been trying a lot of decks, right? I think he played something different yesterday at DK as well.
Mm-hmm. We've got Water CL. Hardy was on Water CL. He seems pretty big on the deck. I think there's potential there. I haven't played it too much, but CL's got a lot of support in water, so I'm looking forward to what he does with it. Oh, we had 2 water CLs. One was Hardy, one was Henry. We had 3 water Dianas, including myself, and Donnie and Stanley. The 3 of us were playing water Diana. I don't think we did too well, but we're all learning still. We had Nick. Nick is who goes by the name Pulse. I'm sure people know him or have seen him on the competitive scene. He's a great player, probably one of the best players in Sydney. He was on Fire Diana, and he was doing really well with it. Really cool deck, really interesting. And then we had the typical Fire Ryle players, all the Ensol. Oh, sorry. Before that, David and Alice, they were both on Fire Suited Allies.
We're different, man. We're not on. I haven't touched it yet.
So yeah, they're still clean. Then we can basically separate the fire into 2 other categories. One was the aggro lane, and the other one was the Ryle control, Crux lane. So Jonathan was on Philo, Arna was on Pfizer, and then AJ was on Fire Suzaku. So we had a pretty big variety of decks. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me?
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Like a new set come out, like people trying to brew and build their thing. There's a wide variety of champions that people want to play and try. Like I've heard Brian wants to try to play Tristan now as well. There's people are wanting to play different decks, which is nice.
Yeah.
No one's trying to stick to one thing.
Yeah. I've been talking to some of the new players. Some of them want to play specific champions. Some of them want to play a wide variety of decks. There's a couple of them that just want to be fire aggro one-tricks. So, there's all that. I will say, towards the end of last format, some people were saying that, Sydney's a wind city, and these locals, I'm not seeing a lot of wind. Only one guy holding down the fort. So if anyone wants to go back to playing Wind with me, I need some friends because these wild decks are too many of them and they're too hard to stop.
See you later, loser. And goodbye, Wind City. Now that water sucks, I'm playing water. Nah, water doesn't suck. Water's good. But I'll eventually play a Wind deck, 100%. Like, I don't know what I'm going to play. I really don't know what I'm going to play for Wind, Nathan. You got any ideas?
I got a chance to draw test like Tim's deck. I gotta say, I miss playing those pink cards. Pink cards are good.
Crux is fine. Crux has always been fine.
Crux, yeah. It is down to one card. I think the reason they're fine is because of one card.
Yeah.
Can I complain about ghosts for a second, okay? Because that card, like, talking about these wild decks, like, all of the counterplay that used to exist for Crux, it just feels like it's gone. Like, these days, I talked about them playing the water and I'm playing a Wind deck, but, like, they play their ghosts now, and before, maybe if they had one sword, you could, like, fracturize or Zephyr the sword and you could have a good time with it. Now you only have Stifling Trap, because they always get the Looking Glass for free, so they always have the Looking Glass plus the sword that Lorraine brings out. And then even if they didn't, like, you somehow break their sword or they break their sword, the Looking Glass, if it was by itself, you can't even fracturize or Zephyr it because it has Omni Shroud, which protects it from everything except for ghosts, because ghosts can still just send it back. So, like, there just is no counterplay to stop them from drawing cards aside from exactly Stifling Trap. And, like, you probably want to send that on the Dungeon Guide that they played earlier, so, like, it's just, you can't stop this thing anymore. There's nothing.
It's pretty obnoxious. What do you have to say, resident Crux player?
It's fine. That's what I'm going to say. Crux is fine. I mean...
And there we have it. You have been argued against, Nathan. You lose this one.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing. Like, bad enough that we're giving Lorraine and Merlin a 2-power sword at level 1. I did have, like, someone went to, it's funny, Sword of Shadows, like, it loses its power when you go to Merlin level 2, so... there is that one little holdout where they have a 1-power sword for 1 turn, but you know, the rest of the game is pretty obnoxious.
Disgraceful. We need a buff. We need a new Merlin.
Oh, don't get us started on David's theory of Merlin getting a recollection. Oh my
Merlin
God.
will get a recollection. Merlin and Mordred is the next recollection. Stamp that here somewhere.
All right, you heard it here. David says the next recollection is gonna be Mordred and Merlin. He keeps trying to convince us that, you know, he's trying to put, you know, that meme of the guy with the strings and There's Always Sunny from Philadelphia, and he's like got the pinboard behind him, and he's like, have you seen that meme? You know that meme.
I know, I've seen the meme. Yeah.
That's David.
You pointed it up here.
Him and his
100%,
conspiracy theories.
Anyway, so let's go down to the deck list. I guess we'll start off with Mr. Jonathan. He won the locals. Good on him. He's a relatively new player. And he's got solid fundamentals and he plays well. Philo, good deck. He took the whole thing.
So
I don't know if anything was like too different from a typical Philo list. Did you guys see anything?
No, he's playing a mostly standard list. I've played against him. It's just like hits you in the face. Arthur, Red Hair, Xiao Xiao, just like unique allies with Lorraine, Winding Flames, and he pilots it very well to get the math on it very quickly. I remember when I played him on Friday, and I had like a crackback lethal if he didn't kill my Dungeon Guide on the board, and I think most Fire Aggro players would just send it face.
Ignore.
I'm not gonna put 3 damage into a Dungeon Guide. That 3 damage could be on your face. And to be honest, you know, in my position, if you put me there, you know, I might have gone face as well. But that Dungeon Guide would have given me exact lethal, and I thought it was a pretty obscure lethal line, so I was very impressed that he decided to kill that Dungeon Guide. Sometimes you can't tell if it's like level 3 or level 1 thinking, if he's just like, ooh, kill Dungeon Guide because I want board control, or if it's like, kill Dungeon Guide because it might give him the exact lethal. But he found that, and I don't think I would have. So won in that game. I was very impressed.
Nice. Yeah.
Pilots did very well. I'm not surprised they won. It's a good deck, and especially I think early in the format, Fire Aggro tends to do very, very well.
Yeah, in this experimental phase, Fire Aggro always stands strong, and you'll see that in the standings because you know 3 decks. Actually, the 3 top decks were Fire Aggro. If you count David's suited allies deck as Fire Aggro, you know, would you consider that Fire Aggro?
I would consider more Fire Allies and Fire
mid range.
It's pretty mid rangey, yeah.
Yeah.
I won't call it mid range, but I would call it. I would call it allies. Like,
It
just
can
play
win
some
on
allies.
turn 2. It has OTK lines.
Yeah, very obscure.
I know it's obscure, but like it can do it. It can do it. But yeah, so yeah, the fire aggro decks are definitely going strong. Then we have second place. I think that was you, David, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you went 3-0 with the suited allies deck.
So I'm playing a little bit of a different suited allies to the one that Nathan will show off in one of our videos. I decided to go with Lorraine for my one. I think it's more stock standard list, but I think the one big difference is I'm not playing any Arthurs, which maybe deserves a slot in the deck, but
Interesting.
I'm trying out Inspiring Call. I just felt like the 4 mana could be a little bit taxing because it doesn't count towards a suited. The more I think about it as well, it's like because the presence of fire being so strong, like wind and water not being there, like Arthur, his immortality doesn't get interacted against. Like there's no Dream Fairy you gotta worry about anymore. Just like you play Arthur, turn him immortal, you're like, cool.
No Dream Fairy is
Can't
a
deal
big
with this
deal
guy.
right now.
So for me, I built the deck tech video will be up by the time this goes up. That deck is not playing Arthur either. In hindsight, it probably should be. I was playing like Poison Dagger, but I think these ways of converting like this suited list is very, very good at getting wide really fast, and being able to convert a wide board into damage is like very, very strong. So obviously Arthur, I was playing Poison Dagger in that list. Also Inspiring Call is, another way of doing the same thing. But I don't even see Arthur as like a turn 1 play in this deck. It's just like once you have 4 allies on board, you play Arthur. I don't care about immortality, you just swing at their face and you go at their face with the rest of the board to just help you close out these matchups once you've got
Like a finisher.
Because like you're playing against, again, these Rile decks that are just trying to kill you before you kill them, and just being able to convert your board into an extra 4 or 5 damage is a huge, huge deal. Before they, Merlin's gonna play Fireball on you or something. So
I suppose, yeah. Like you don't want to be playing Arthur turn 1 anyway, because it just won't turn on any suited effects either. Cardistry effects, sorry.
I think you almost prefer to just be able to get your suited discounts off and flood the board as fast as possible. Maybe if you're playing in like a mirror matchup and the plus attack might matter, and Immortal Arthur is like a fantastic way to try and fight for board control and maintain board control. But otherwise, if you're able to play against this deck that's not fighting you for board, you'd rather just get a 4 of hearts out or a 4 of spades out and just play for the flood.
And my secret tech that's probably different to everyone's list is the 5 of hearts.
Nathan's running
The
5 of
Rhino
hearts.
is
I'm playing two. I think
Are
you
you
should
playing
be
two? Okay, I
playing
didn't know that.
some count of it. Yeah, I like the 5s. Again, it's a fantastic discard for Verita, and whether or not you actually play it, if you know the matchup, you can play it turn 1.
Yeah, I played 3 of it. It was fun.
Is this list running
But yeah.
Wonderland's Reign, the 0 cost?
Yes, it ran 3.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good discard fodder for 3 of hearts. I played it once. When I had multiple suits. When I played that card, it allowed me to play the 4 of hearts for free, which then allowed me to attack with the 5 of spades for free. It was a good combo piece. But I think the one card I don't like in my deck is Duchess.
I'm definitely not a big fan of 6 of Hearts. Yeah.
Yeah.
6 of hearts is very
In the video,
Kindle, the cost and everything.
in the video that we probably will have put out by now, Nathan does briefly mention not running Duchess for the reason that like the numbers don't add up. But I also add that her Kindle effect does mess with Verita as well. Like you can't afford to use her Kindle effect because Verita is so strong. You don't want to get rid of the good fire cards.
Sometimes she's a 4-cost 4-2, and also just like her ability, like, is kind of not that relevant because the only hit in the entire deck, at least the build that I'm playing, the only hit in the entire deck is Ashen Riffle. And you don't even really want to be playing like Ashen Riffle that many times. Like, how did you feel about Ashen Riffle, David? Because I felt that the card was good, but not fantastic.
Yeah, it was just like, it was one of those cards you're just like, oh, I randomly have 3 cards in hand, pre-rec, I can play this. Okay, I'll do it. But like, it wasn't like.
But even then, like
Wasn't
half the
it-
time you have like a 4 of spades ability to activate or something else pre-rec, you can flash in like a 2 of spades. Like it's nice.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I was a bit, I don't know, I surprisingly, I barely drew my spades. Like, 5 of spades and Ace of spade was the one I always drew. I rarely drew the 4, the 3, or the 2 for some reason. Like I had like one piece at a time, but it was just like
With Duchess, couldn't you also get not just Ashen Riffle, the burn spell? Doesn't that work?
burn spell. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
burn
no.
that's
spell
that's
as
true.
well.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I actually beat Nick in the games because I was able to kill his Carter when he brought it out. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that's the other thing is it's
Burn it.
fantastic for killing that. Again, sweeps are a big problem, but Carter, you have one answer for that one. Yes, the only one you have an answer for.
Well,
Thank God.
on the topic of sweeps, I did say this to David the other day, and he doesn't believe, but I believe, and that is the card Mortal Ambition. I think that if you have a Noir or a Rouge and a Verita, like just two unique allies on the field, then your Mortal Ambition costs 2. That's pretty good. If they sweep, you can do like huge
I'll
damage.
say
Play Red Hair. You already want to play Arthur in the deck. Come on. But anyway,
The deck is.
it's definitely a fun deck. Definitely really fun.
so
It's definitely like watch Nathan's video. He explains it way better than I do. He's done the maths more than I did. I'm just a fire player that's like, ooh, cards, and played this deck and did not do any math. The deck is pretty decent when you draw well, and I didn't verse any sweeps, so that's why I would say.
all right, yeah. So anyway, those were the top 2 decks, Philo and Fire Suited Allies, and then I want to talk about 2 more interesting decks. One is Nathan's list, and the other one is Nick's list. We'll talk about Nick's list first, I guess. So he's playing Fire Diana. I versed him in round 1, and it was really interesting. Most old Diana shells were running like Gloamspire, and trying to go that route to get the value, because once she goes to level 3, she loses a lot of influence. But what is influence when the Ryle package exists? So everyone's trying new Fire level 3 decks, and this one looks really cool. Umbra package, obviously. This is Gun Diana, not Ether Wing Diana. And yeah, he has some really spicy stuff in there. Like I think my favorite thing that he was running was Spirel, the Schwartz Queen. Holy shit, guys, that thing is much stronger than I thought it was. But at the same time, I still don't know if it's a good card. I'm very confused right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've played with it a couple times, and I feel like Spirel is like either the best card in your deck, or it does kind of nothing. Like it's 4 mana deal 6, which is not great, but not bad.
Yeah.
And then it just dies.
It's heavy
But like
swing.
when it's good, if you actually get a counterspell off with this thing, like it's fantastic.
Is it that bad though? Like I reckon that's very hard to get rid of.
The thing is, it's really hard to kill sometimes, and the reason why is because if you play something to try and kill it, they might have made the right call to negate it, and then you just get negated, and then that's it. Or alternatively, she'll just tap herself anyway, and if it's an ally, she'll just deal 3 damage to it and kill it on the attack. So what happened was when I played against Nathan the other day, he had Spirel out, and I just had this Crystalline Archer in my hand, and I just couldn't play it. I couldn't attack into her because he would tap it and kill it. And like that was so incredibly like frustrating. I was just like, what the hell do I do? I can't play Meteoric Volley just in case, he puts down a 3-cost card to negate with Spirel, so it's like it puts you in a really tough situation. It's really, really powerful.
Yeah, I think it's against some decks it's fantastic. And like specifically you're playing Ryle Umbra, like your deck is gonna run a lot of 3 costs because you're playing Ryle and Creative Shock. You're gonna be playing a lot of 2 costs because you're playing Undying Dreams and you're playing like Evercon Raider. And then normally your cards at other costs are going to be Advanced Element, so you kind of don't really want to shove them under Spirel. And also because you're like Umbra, like most of them are 2 costs anyway. It's like Carter, maybe like Profane Chains or whatever that card is. You normally can't get like higher cost cards. There isn't like an Umbra 6 cost, which is why I think it's kind of awkward because the decks that don't care about Spirel will just ignore her and kill you. Like if you play against Onsol, for one, they're just gonna swing at Spiral with their sword, which will do at least 4 damage at that point in the game. And then if they don't want to do that, they'll play Onsol, and you probably can't negate Onsol. If you're playing as Merlin, like maybe you can negate 1 Fireball, which is, I mean, definitely relevant, but at the same time, like I don't think she'll live that long because Merlin with the Sword of Shadows and her level, even level effect is gonna kill Spiral. So,
What's so
sometimes
What's so
she's
funny,
fantastic.
David?
but sometimes she just sucks.
I'm just trying to think. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, well, what's a? Because I was like, oh, you're talking about firewall. So I thought, I'm like, what's a 4 cost? And then he hit me.
Heavy swing.
Loam Spire Prowler.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, I mean, you can negate ghosts, which is nice if you can get Spiral on the board before they play their first ghosts. But like,
And that's
other
pretty
than that,
strong.
It's really hard to get something.
I think that's pretty strong. Yeah.
If you negate a ghost, it's great, right? But like at the same time,
I think
like,
the 2 and 3s, like being able to negate, like a lot of this game is 2 and 3s, right? So, and then the 4. So just play Gloam Spire Prowler and you'll be fine. And you're like,
but at the same time,
what's
like,
a
I think
6? Surely there's a
heavy
6,
swing.
right?
There's
Heavy
like
swing
heavy
is
swing in your
6.
deck.
No, not heavy swing. What's the There's a Diana card that's 6. I remember. It's the bad card. It's not a bad card, right?
Oh, Curse
It's Umbra.
Amplification.
Yes, that's the card.
That's a
There
bad
you go.
card.
There's your 6, Nathan.
You can play Sortia Vortex, bro.
Oh.
Hold up. Is he cooking?
But yeah, that card is just a lot stronger than I thought. So be careful with that
Dude.
card.
When it beats you bad. The only thing I'll say is like, this kind of beats allies, but if you're an Umbra player, would you really rather see this over Carter? Like, maybe the answer is yes, but I feel like on average, Carter probably does better at stabilizing, and this feels a bit win-more to me.
But this would replace a Hex Chaser, right? Not Carter, I think. This Hex Chaser is probably in that deck.
I don't know if they fit the same role. I feel like Carter's definitely the more defensive one, and while Spiral is defensive with the counters, it almost feels like maybe she's win more, maybe she is, but it's kind of like she's the deal sealer as well. She's just like,
Yeah, I mean, when she sticks around, she like represents a lot of damage. She's very annoying. Like she can be very, very. I just think that against a lot of the, maybe it's specifically Crocs. She doesn't do anything.
And yeah, so and then also Profane Bindings, right? That card is just a hard negate now for Umbra. So card's strong. Like you take 5 damage effectively, but it's good. Yeah, if it wins you the game, you know who cares about 5
It's the
health?
same as like when they revealed that Umbra card, the Diana card that's like you can only play it in your recollection, and then every card your opponent plays for the rest of the turn, they take 8 damage, right? And it's like, if you're the opponent, I don't think that card is good, because if you're the opponent, sometimes you'll just decide to take 8 damage because it's better than whatever else is happening to you, and you need a card. This Profane Bindings is the same thing, but they're inverse. So I think it's a good card because it's like, when you play it, it's because it's probably winning you the game. And yeah, you take 5 damage, but like, whatever else you're negating is like really, really important, and especially in this shell for Umbra Diana, where hitting them in the face and getting this off and like stopping a Song of Frost, or maybe someone's trying to Zephyr your Shadows Twin, like keeping your bullet in your Shadows Twin is a very big deal. If it's like a fracturized, like it's the difference between winning and losing the. So taking 5 damage, you really don't care.
Yeah. I mean, it still has the classic Diana problems where against water, Fracturize exists, and Song of Frost exists, and what's it called? Tactical Retreat now exists again. So, it has its counters, but it's by no means dead because of that. The rail packages are so strong that it kind of makes up for it,
Yeah, and if you're ever playing a Ryle Mirror and you get to go off first, like, you kind of just win the game with the Taser Lock stuff that was oppressive back in DLC.
Yeah, let's not forget about the Taser stuff, yeah. But yeah, that's Nick's deck. Very good deck. Looking forward to seeing other variations of it in the future. Okay, I guess the last deck that we'll talk about for today, last but certainly not least, the most hated and hating deck of all time. What should we call it? What's it called, Nathan?
On my Sylvie, it's called the Rats. Because the idea was you would just be an annoying rat for as long as possible, and eventually your opponent would get mad and scoop. And that's the deck.
All right. The annoying rat deck.
Yeah, when I phrased it in my mind, it was you're just annoying. So you are playing Sylvie level 3 technically, but the idea is kind of just you go Sensor and then you go like GCR backup charger Tango, and you just play all of the weird annoying win stuff like Windmill Engineer. You stay influence neutral with cakes. If you need to apply pressure, you have Action Protector and Longtail Growth Sword, which is actually a really good card.
Very solid.
And you just slowly apply pressure while being annoying and stopping your opponent's game plan. And you have Academy Guide, which is a great card to play with Expeditious Opening, and also for these Royal decks that aren't really fighting you for board. You can kind of just play it out, unless they're Lorraine and they get a sword for free, and it turns out that Sword of Shadows plus Hasty Messenger kills 3 health, which is a fun thing that exists in this game now. But, you know, those things aside, you just get to be really annoying, and then eventually they get frustrated because you eat all the floating that they play Dungeon Guide, and that lets you play Heavenly Guide. We're also playing Effigy of Gaia, which gives you +1 level, so you can Heavenly Guide from level 1 if they decide to Dungeon Guide. And I actually had a lot of decks Dungeon Guide to level 2 versus me because I was eating all of their floating, and they were like, may as well, I guess. And so, yeah, they're level 2, and you can Effigy of Gaia, Heavenly Guide, and get to level 3. And the top end is just playing like a couple copies of Crawl that you tutor with Sylvie's Earth's Tune, and then call the pack to get it out onto the board. Is it a good deck? Not particularly, but it is fun. I might go up to 4 Call the Pack if I wanted to play it again, because I did have some games where I would play the game and not have Call the Pack in my hand, and you can't really do anything with your level 3 if you don't have Call the Pack. And I thought 3 would be enough because I'm playing Furry Whispers and Scout the Land, and I'm staying level 1 for a long time, and I'll find one by the time I want it. And you never want to see more than one, but
Sounds like you're unlucky.
I could not find Call the Pack for the life of me.
How many crawls were you running?
So I'm playing 2, and you just hope that you don't draw both. And
Yeah.
you just Fairy Whispers and Scout the Land, and you just keep shoving it down the deck if you see it. And like, if you ever Fairy Whispers one of them, you're completely
happy.
chilling. You
Yeah.
bot deck that, and you're completely fine. God, I had one game where I bot decked 1 Crawl, and I was trying to not go to level 3 for so long because I didn't have Call the Pack. And then eventually I was like, all right, I can't put it off any longer. I'll go to 3. And I'm revealing off the top of my deck, and I show all 3 Call the Packs before my Crawl. And I'm just like, this is so over. Like, it's just so over.
That's funny.
But
You got like Terrasites or something in your deck.
you could play more Preserve, but like the whole point of the deck is just to like slowly be annoying, and it's just you just can't stick a board versus Lorraine, because Sword of Shadows does so much work.
But against the water players,
But against the water players, you annihilate them, but your deck doesn't do anything, so you just like you hit them with like 1 baby green slime, a wind raccoon every turn, and that's all you do. And you just hold up like Expeditious Opening plus Raccoon. Like you can hold up like Reclaim, Expeditious Opening plus Raccoon, and it's like you have a lot of influence with just the card drawer and staying low level that you can be very annoying to a lot of people.
it is a lot of rodents. I just realized
Because you
raccoons
have
and
like a
mice.
lot of fast speed stuff. Like you have Expeditious Opening, you have Longtail Growth Sword. Like you can afford to hold this up, and if they don't force you to do anything, you can slam it all out in your pre-rec. And you're also playing like Backup Charger and Tango, so you always are using your influence. So yeah, the deck feels pretty good to play. I know David walked up to me and asked me if I was having fun, and the answer was yes, I was. Because some people have fun playing decks that aren't Ryle, and that's me. You know, I like to be a rat sometimes. But
Dirty birdie rat.
I asked Christian the same question, and I think he had a different response.
yeah,
I
Maybe
couldn't even
not my
look at him
opponent.
when he asked me. I was just like, oh god. You
not
think I'm
all of my
having-
opponents had a fun time, but the Ryle opponents that I played were fine. It was just the water ones that were not.
And yeah, that's the deck. It was cool. I really like the fast mouse girl. She's a cool addition.
She's really good.
Yeah.
With a cake and Sylvie level 1, she's like a 4/5, and it's like
That's really strong.
You hit people quite hard, and like people aren't playing Dream Fairies in this metagame, so you're fine. I had like Dream Fairies I think in sideboard, because I just figured no one's gonna be playing allies. It's fine.
A turn 2 4/5 is nothing to scoff at. You know, it's fast as well. So perfectly safe. But yeah, cool deck. I hope you never play it again. I never want to see you again. I hate you. And this channel is done. Thank
Definitely
you.
fun. I'll say this build is not playing Cleansing Reunion. I added that to a later build because we needed more hate cards for Ryle, and it still wasn't enough with Cleansing. So we'll see what we go
Like
from
I
here.
saw him play against Nikki, and poor like Or Nikki, he was just like, Nathan brings out a sensor and he's just like, I'm gonna frack it. And he's like, looks at his hand, and there was the caterpillar, there was a baby green, there was a raccoon, there was an expeditious opening, and there was cleansing reunion. And I'm just like, and Nathan's like, sure, I'll allow it. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
He can have his floating. We can turn the floating back online because it's not going to be in the graveyard for very long. Okay, like it's completely okay for Sensor to get fracturized because we just eat the floating afterwards. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, great time versus water decks. If you want to see water decks go down to like 3 influence and be really sad, like this is a fun deck. It's for the Ryle players, okay? And it's still not enough. We need more. That's the problem, is that this isn't enough. When you put this much hate into the deck, it should be enough. It's just not. It's just not.
But yeah.
I think you're putting too much. I actually think it's too much hate. Like if you focus on
Too
your own
much
game
hate.
plan and your level
Don't-
3,
The dark side.
I literally think you're flooding the deck too much, maybe. That like you don't actually have win con.
Oh,
I think if you actually just play, a
I know
normal
there's
game
better
plan,
ways
I
to
think
build
you can
win
actually
than
beat.
this. But like the point is to feel like the value engine versus value engine, like what the compromise is. Because like, yeah, you can put a better win condition in this deck, but you could also just put a better win condition in this deck and then swap the value engine to Ryle, and you'll just be playing like a better deck. I'm trying to compare the like value engines of the two decks of like, is there an argument to play wind versus fire? Because if wind can't hold back fire enough, then you should just be playing fire. And saying like, I'll just try and race and get to my win condition faster, rather than saying I'm going to slow you down and then get to my win condition. And that's kind of the head-to-head that I'm seeing.
So, is there gonna be a Nathan playing Fire Ryle decks this format?
Oh yeah, for sure. When I realize, when it finally sinks in that I can't do it with wind, I'm just going to play Ryle Loxham the rest of the format.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's the timeline we live in. Like I'm sorry, but that's the world we live in.
Oh no, Nathan, please just stick with wind. Oh.
Like that's the end game that I see, is that Ryle Loxham is probably one of the best Ryle decks. It's probably the one that I will enjoy playing the most because it's not Crux. And like, that's where I'm gonna be. So see you guys
Yep.
there in 2 months.
Incap and Excalibur are good cards.
Is there a world, Christian, that you're playing a Crux Ryle deck?
Possibly.
Possibly. We almost have him.
I mean, not because I
We
think
almost
it's
got-
good, but I just think it'll be. No, I can't say I think it'll be fun. I almost threw up when I said that. I don't know. I take that back. Probably not. I don't think I will much sooner play a Ryle Rye deck than any type of Crux deck.
Sticking to our advanced elements. We're sticking to our ley line. Is that what we're saying here? We're on our ley line. Our ley line.
Yeah, this is why we are the advanced elements. That's why we have Xander.
Yeah, I mean,
Lorraine,
I'm happy to
and-
play other decks. I just feel like if I'm going to stick to a Ryle deck, I don't know why I would pick one that's not the one that I probably would most likely play. So
I will say though, I think Ryle Rye is a thing. Is it the best? Maybe not. Probably not. But like, it is a thing. You should always be aware of it. And I think the best list has yet to be discovered. I think there's a Rye deck out there that might do very well, but I don't know what it is
You're
yet.
saying for Rye. Are you saying for Rye?
Yeah, for Rye, not Ryle, just
Okay.
Rye.
we haven't had Ascent Boston, which will be coming up soon. Quicksilver Cup. So I'm expecting the metagame to develop very quickly. I hope it develops in a direction that I like. If not, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll become the villain that no one wants to see in Sydney. Who am I kidding? I've always been the villain. Everyone
Yes.
hates me.
He's always been a villain. You're a villain you're a villain
I'm a villain
already
in Melbourne. All right, not in Sydney. I play bad decks in Sydney. Melbourne, I just stole their invites once. So
Yeah, but yeah, and I think that about wraps it up for our locals meta, and just our overall interpretations of the meta so far. It's been really good. We've all been enjoying it, as you can see. Let us know what you've been playing in your meta. How's your meta going? What have you been playing? How are you feeling about everything right now? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Drop a comment down below. But for now, that's it. We are Advanced Elements, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.